Welcome back, guys. I did part two of Dover. For some reason, it just it's lost in the space. Don't know, it never popped up, so I'm redoing it again. Trying to pick up where I left off.
Practice is in full swing, and drivers are heading out onto the track.
All right, time to go. Remember your goals out there.
This video wouldn't be too long.
What do you need out there?
Like I said, start back from the beginning. Like I said, I started off, quick recap. Setup 1 was the very first one I did. Setup 2 was the one I wanted to first race with. Every one of these can be tweaked, which, my next time around here, this Wednesday coming up, obviously I built this one, and I ended with this one. Just trying to improve upon everything. So let's go out and take setup 5 out.
Fire up and let's get out there.
Oh yeah, I might just go ahead and run the full fuel run, test out the brake bias on entry.
Let's find your marks out there. See what we've got. Stay on your blend line now.
For me, tomorrow probably gonna be the first time I take this online, or setups online in general, to see exactly what it looks like in the online lobby, how the setup transfers to the online lobby. Try a highline around here, see if it's any. Practically wide open.
That was your best lap yet. Car looks good. You can come in or run some more.
Now, obviously, in the race, I'm always going to, this is one thing I like to do in practice. I like to run this car at different pace, just to see how it how it reacts in the fuel run. Does it fall off quicker to everybody else? If me starting off a little conservative, does it really ultimately help me versus the competition? I really, that's why for me it's twofold. It's this quick session, these laps, seeing what the car does here, but then when you put it all together and you really get good information on exactly any tweaks you might need to make, any adjustments, driving style you might want to make in an online setting versus the competition that you see in league racing. this whole race. You know, I'm a bottom feeder, so having to run. You know, obviously the groove is about the middle lane. You have a high side here. To run up there, you need to kind of have, I guess, a little bit looser car. As you can see, I get in, it's a little tight. So if I get in there too hot, it's definitely hitting the wall. But obviously, you can see how I'm driving right now. I'm already a second from the start, but that's just my line. If I pick up and start driving more of my line, you should see the fact that 24.5 is going to come back down. See, 24.2. So learning what your car does and when it does it and how it as the fuel runs off, what it does, you know, looking at this can help you, you know, to some extent on how your tire's wearing. Now for me, it seems like most of my setups, that right front does a lot of the work. Now, obviously, that normally says that your core is tightened or somewhat to some extent. Now, you know, there's people that their cores shove up more than mine's, and they got better right fronts. So it's like, I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, see, Heat 5, one of the things you want to look for is having your right sides wear about equal throughout a run, or get them as close as possible. Here, in a setup I got thus far, that I am within, like I said, right now, what, I'm 12% difference. Now, the right rear will catch up with the right front. Which that's one thing, another thing that's apparent in all my setups. The right rear will catch up with the right front before it's time for you to pit. See, right now we're at a 12% difference. And I'm at that second fall off, running the line that I like to run. And I can still stay low, drive it off. You can see my lift points on entry still. I still kind of back up the corners, and the car rotates really well, so I'm pretty much on the gas. 3/4 of the turn. I pick it up just right before halfway, and I don't have to put much steering input to get it off the corner. I might do the old traditional tap just to kind of give it a little bit, just kind of keep up with it a little bit. But as you can see, I'm still that second fall off now for about what, the last 2-3 laps. Still again, another one. I mean, to run the same pace for 3-4 laps is really good. When your car is naturally wanting, it should always have a pretty steady fall off at a certain point. And you can see 8 laps to go in this fuel. I mean, we got almost a 17%, 16% difference in tires at this point. And you can see I'm at 1.2, approaching 20 laps in this fuel run with this setup. And obviously, when you lift, you can still see I can run if I need to run a little bit higher, but it will obviously, it's slower because I gotta lift a little bit more to run this line up here. But maybe not. Let me see where I'm going to be at. Let me see. It definitely likes to turn in the center, which is a good thing. I like that. I love the rotation center off. Let me come back down here. So I can definitely drive my car right now. I ain't got to worry about it being too loose. Starting to get a little twitchy entry. But look, I went high, and then look at that. I picked up a 10th. So, 0.1. It could be easy on the tires up here.
Tires are worn, driver.
Back to here with 4 to go. Look, now you start seeing the right rear starting to catch up with the right front. Now I'm back down to about 7. Three laps to go. At 6. One last check here. Where the fall off is.
Easy on your tires now.
Cross this line one more time, and then I'm gonna switch it over to
try to coast a little if you can. Save us some fuel.
Details and pit. 7. Look at that, 2% difference. 1 lap to go. I'll go ahead and pit this time. Oh, good Lord. Of course I missed entry. That's why you practice pitting every chance you get.
Watch your tires, driver.
But you can see that if I would have stayed out one more lap, it definitely would have evened out with the tires, or hell, maybe it would have leapfrogged. Well, with that being said, back to the garage. So you see this one here fired off at a 23.5. Let me see if I run my line, if it's a little faster. Go check that out real quick. Now, not at any point did it get too loose or too tight. It pretty much, the balance pretty much stayed neutral the entire fuel run, which in the actual online lobby, that can differ. It could get just a little bit looser, or it could get just a little bit tighter. Let's see if what I can get running my line here.
Fast lap right there.
Still 5. I scrubbed off a lot of speed.
You can call it here or stay out. Up to you.
And running that entry like I want with lifting. Woo. Yeah. Well, if I if I were to make some adjustments just to trial and error, being the fact that the core pretty much stayed neutral, which is really good. Now, how it performs online, what the other, if I need any more, what more do I need? That's a lot of questions right now. That's just there because all I can see right now is how the core is what is giving me in these test sessions. I just went a full fuel run. It felt great for me. The balance was pretty much neutral throughout the entire run. You seen you get what we got. We had about 1.3, 1.4 fall off, and you seen about roughly with 4 laps where it just stayed at a second, and those 4 laps can be putting a second on somebody behind you. It can be a difference between you running second and you being able to make that pass for first. I'm going to my little chart. That little chart is a wonder, which for me, I'm learning a lot of because I'm using it so much, knowing what click of bump is going to do, loose or tight. But I mean, hey, if you ain't got that memory for all that, don't worry about it. I just pull it up on my phone, and all right. I want to see if I could get it a little looser, and maybe if I could find a way to make this setup a little bit faster over the course of another fuel run. Let's see. I'm using 7,500 pound strength if I didn't realize before. All right, I'm gonna set this whole front part of my car to entry. So I'm gonna go up on the bump here and the rebound to make it looser on entry. Obviously, if you're going up on the bump, you're gonna go down on the rebound. And now, obviously, the front side is always opposite. So if I'm going up on the bump on the left side, what I'm going to do on the right side, you guessed it, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go down on the bump 1 click and up on the rebound 1 click. Now that's all going to be turn in. That's all my turn in. I'm going to do that. And other things I can do. I'm going to go ahead and take a half round of wedge out, which that addresses the entire thing. Wedge, it's in your mid-turn, which if you want it looser, that's basically its rotation in the center. If you loose in and tie it off, well, this here, if you loose in, it could make you looser in, and if you tie it off, well, it might actually help you off. So you might do other things to address your entry if you're a little bit loose on entry. But with this car, I don't have no loose entry or loose off or tight or anything there. So I'm just wanting to make it overall looser on entry, looser through the center, and a little bit looser off. So go ahead and put this out here like that.
That's what we needed.
We're approaching 20 minutes of this broadcast. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset it.
Practice is underway as teams prepare for the race.
I'm going to reset it, and I'm going to see if
How's the car, boss?
I'm going to see if we get a little bit better fire off, and let's see what the car gives me over the next 25 lap run.
Okay, fill out the balance and bring it in for an adjustment if you need to.
What I might do is, depending on what I get in 25 laps here, I might make one more set of adjustments and then run one final 25 lap stint with hopefully a successful pit entry. All right. It felt like I scrubbed off a little bit less speed. Turning is still there.
Amazing lap, driver.
Well, I picked up about a 10th.
Everything looks good. Your choice to stay out or come in.
In the car, I can feel that it is a little looser. Not much. Again, there we go. I guess because I carry so much speed in, it gives an illusion that I'm tighter in the center. It's just me. I guess I'm just like I said, I think I'm just carrying a little bit too much speed, but the car responds really well. I mean, when I get back to the gas, it rotates really good through the center when I get back to gas. Like I said, I'm running a couple of high lines right here real quick, which the car handles great. I'm gonna be high off, which the car, like I said, turns great off. Like, that's amazing. So I'm gonna bring it back down to the bottom. Like I said, it floats up a little bit because I'm carrying just a little bit more speed through there. Let me see if I can back it up and get down where I like it. Well, you know, I didn't drift up as much. I'm in the center. Now, also, one thing that can happen with the bumps and rebounds when you make those adjustments, it tends to have characteristics with your car on a longer run. Like if you're better, if it does help you the beginning of a run, it could tend to make your car a little bit looser on entry late in the run. And sometimes, you know, it's usually a balance on how you like to drive. But it almost feels like the car at this point, you know, it's still feels pretty good. I noticed the biggest difference, obviously, on the fire off. It definitely is looser on the fire off. With that adjustment, it seems like car guy actually was getting a little bit tighter off than usual. That could be how I drive it too. Sometimes, you know, how you drive it, it's beyond what your car was set up for. And that's just things that we just pay attention to. And at the point, it looked like the car is still trying to turn down, which is great. That means I could actually had a little bit more speed here. Let me go up to this high side. Well, mid. I say high, but mid. I like to test where the car likes to run. You know, in the race, whenever cycling pit stops, you're going to run like, you know, you might have people that pitted just a little bit earlier than you. Sometimes our cars might not like the high side. It might get looser up there. You know, so trying to pay attention to where other guys are and who's pitting, who's coming up. That's where communication comes into play. You know, if you got fresh tires and you like a car like me that hasn't pitted yet, yeah, obviously the closing gap and the rate is going to be crazy fast. So communication with the person as you approach them is very important. Like if I was the person on fresh tires catching somebody, if I know passing zone is going to be turn 1, I'm going to say, hey, look, stay high. I'm coming with fresh tires. And that gives them plenty of time to make their adjustments, to lift to however they need to do for their car to go high. And I know that I can take my car and I'll give them plenty of room to stay low. Or if you know you're going to pass somebody in turn 1 and you meeting them up on the front straightaway, say, hey, stay low, I'm going to pass you on the high side. I said, your rate of speed is going to be so quick, you know, you ain't going to have to do much to adjust to that for somebody. All right, we are at 1.1. And 14% difference. And just to running down these laps, like I said, 1.2 seconds difference, 1.3 second difference. As you can see, we got 7 laps left. A little bit of the apron, which at lap 19, if your actual car is able to get to the bottom, hit the apron, I mean, I would like to think that your setup is doing extremely well, because the alternative here is most cars are going to be so tight, they're not going to be this low on the track. At best, they're going to be mid lane to high lane with a lot of lift to get the car to rotate as best as they can. Well, now let's see how the car is going to be on entry with those adjustments, because I would anticipate the car being a little looser now, more so. Now, right now, it's I can still get back to the throttle. You can see the core when I get back to the gas. It looks like it's wanting to rotate a little bit more.
Easy on your tires now.
And I'm at that 1.3 second fall off. Alright. I'm see what the time is. Before, still feels actually quite well. Alright, let's track these last. Look at that. Tires, because they're a little looser. And laps, it's See, you
Try to
could.
save
That's
some
an
fuel if you
indication
can.
on how looser the back end is, but not loose enough to where it wants to spin. So that's a good thing. I will be attempting to pit again this next go around on entry. And even with that difference with percentage, the car still handles great. I'm not missing entry this time. Oh, then I do that. I think it's more me than the brake bias. All right. Okay.
Good job. We're
With
ready to
all that
qualify
being
this thing.
said, I'm not going to run a third one of these.
Okay, let's change things up.
But recap what that run was. With the adjustments I made, with the bump and rebounds, and taking that half around a wedge, long run basically turned out to be about the same. Same fall off, but same times. Those last 4 laps, 3, 4, 5 laps, 4, 5 laps, I can feel the car rotate a little bit more than it did the previous run, which you was able to see it at the tire degradation, the difference at the same points. You know, the rear actually surpassed the front. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there for right now. And let me give everybody a look at all these setups. Setup 1, setup 2, setup 3, setup 4, setup 5. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna have 5 setups going into the race on Wednesday. 2 of these are probably going to be scrapped, and it's probably going to be consolidated into at least 2, 3 at the most. Excuse me. I'm gonna continue to still play with springs. You know, it's gonna probably have springs I feel that I'm the fastest on. The car is going to give me pretty much a lot of what I want. It's just going to be a comfort thing. If I can fire off faster and have about the same performance over the long run, if I'm at a 3 and I still have that about 1 to 3 second fall off, then my end times comes down because I'm falling off from 1.3 instead of 1.5. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap up this video, guys. I hope this one here posts. I'm gonna try to post it as soon as I can see it on my YouTube. The last one didn't record. So with all that being said, all right.
We're all done here.
I'll talk to y'all later with another video like this with the next track we go to, or whenever I post again, which I could post another video before this Wednesday's race too. So, all right, guys. I will talk to y'all later. Remember, like, subscribe. Thank y'all.